This is the 2024 Chevrolet Traverse LT. Is it better than ever? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm at Red River Chevrolet and we're going to go over the particulars of this fully redesigned Traverse. It still looks a little bit like the Traverse of the previous generation, but also some changes as far as this model is concerned, especially on the interior. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. So here's what we're going to have with the LT trim level and with really all models as far as some of these features go. You're going to have your daytime running lights up here as well as your blinker housing. Here's your headlight housing right here. You'll notice you don't have any fog lights, but because of the positioning of the headlights, I don't think that's going to be an issue if they were higher up. Yeah, I could see the desire for fog lights being present. We will have active air curtains right here, allowing air to flow through the front end. That's going to help you on gas mileage, helping with aerodynamics. You have some chrome, the surround on the housing for your headlight right there, as well as chrome with the grille. Now this particular model comes in front wheel drive. All wheel drive is available. And you'll notice a little bit more of a squared off look here. Not so much that it just doesn't look appropriate. It still has some nice character lines to it as far as the design of the hood goes. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera because this lakeshore blue exterior color is somewhat dark, at least through the screen as I'm looking at it. Now, I told you this model is front wheel drive. What are your tire and wheel sizes? 255 on your width, a 65 series sidewall, and 18-inch wheels. And a real quick look at the side of this Traverse. Some people say I need to slow down and show a little bit more of that. So there you go. You can see what the side profile looks like. There is your remote. And you will see that you have the coveted remote start right there. That's nice to have. In fact, all you have to do is push that twice and the vehicle is going to start. You'll notice I didn't even lock the vehicle. It was actually unlocked when I did that. That's one of the changes for 2024. So if you were wondering about that, there is the answer to the question. And we'll have the Traverse logo on this lower portion of the front doors. Gloss black mirror caps, turn signal indicators built in. These are power adjustable side view mirrors. They are manually folding, but they do fold. And you'll have your blind spot monitoring built in right there. Body color door handles on the front and rear doors. And you'll notice that you have passive entry on the front and rear doors. Always a benefit, especially if you're needing to get to the back seat area first. Nothing unusual, but it is something that's here. Also, the roof rail is up there. So get the crossbars and help increase cargo capacity. And you can see what we have back here. A reasonably large rear window back here as far as your quarter window goes. And then we're going to have some nice trim up here that I think is just, it's appropriate where it is, but it's not too much. We really don't have a ton of gloss black to deal with here. In fact, the only place we're really going to see it on the exterior is right here. And of course with those mirror caps. And how about with the rear? Well, you'll see where the tail light housing starts and works its way around and down. It does go across to right here. Now it looks like it would go all the way across here. That would have been kind of nice if Chevrolet had put lighting in right here, but not necessarily a big deal. You do have the exposed rear window wiper, your rear roof spoiler, and the shark fin antenna. The one thing I must say I do like here is that you still have exhaust outlets back here. It's not the way that so many other automakers have gone, where they don't have anything coming out from underneath the rear bumpers. In my opinion, that just doesn't look quite right, but yeah, I'm not the one buying this model. Tell me what your thoughts are. Speaking of exhaust, let's talk about what's under the hood. Under the hood is the 2.5 liter turbocharged dual overhead cam 4-cylinder. Now you might say, oh man, that's going to be a weak motor. It makes 326 horsepower, so not bad. 328 on the torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And let's see what the MPGs look like for 2024. We're looking at 20 city, 27 highway, 23 combined, and 4.3 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. You will have capless fuel fill, and when you fill up, you have a 21.7 gallon gas tank. When properly equipped, the new Traverse can tow up to 5,000 pounds. There is a power tailgate on the LT trim level, so I'll push that button of the multiple options for opening the cargo area. We'll lift that up and out of the way. We'll find 22.9 up to 97.6 cubic feet of cargo capacity. I have everything maximized to show you what that looks like. When it comes to folding these rear seats down to flatten them like this, make them completely flat, you'll have to actually move the middle seats forward. They do move back and forth on tracks, which has multiple advantages, not only for maximizing cargo capacity when they're out of the way as they are right now, but also for giving third row passengers a little bit of extra leg room space. 12-volt power outlet found right here, as well as the tie downs. You have 2 on each side for a total of 4. Underneath the floor, one thing I like about this floor is that stays up and out of the way once you open it. You don't have to hold it up or anything like that. There's plenty of space here, and you can remove these right here, all 4 of those, and get this out of the way, as you can see, to gain access to your spare tire. So for those of you who are wondering if this Traverse had a spare tire, there's your answer. And we'll take a look into the jet black with Gideon cloth interior. It is very comfortable. Let's see how comfortable the armrest is. That seems to be pretty good. There's a little bit of padding there. It's not rock solid, that's for sure. A good sized door bin as well. It's not just a bottle holder, so that's good. There is some silver trim here that I think sets things off nicely. And to lower these seats flat, you're just going to use this lever right here, just like that. No big deal. You don't even have to use that to get them back up into the upright position. Now you will see, I'm going to move this seat back just a little bit here so that you can see how far back the seats go and how far forward they go, so you can see leg space for rear seat passengers. Speaking of gaining access to the rear seat, pull up on this release and the seat will get up and out of the way. And as far as leg space goes, here's what I have with the seats all the way back. That is a good thing, plenty of room. And I'll turn this around and let you see that I have a lot of space above my head as well. I'm 5'10", in case you were wondering. And we'll have a USB port right there, a cup holder and some storage behind that. Obviously that will be the same on both sides. Something that I think is a good move is having the air conditioning vents here in the ceiling, instead of, as some competitors have, down here. That way the air is traveling with less distance to go when it gets to the passengers' faces, which is usually what they put it on, and that way it doesn't have much time to cool down or heat up depending on how the temperature is set. And by the way, you can see the armrests right here. Now there's no setting to that, they're just down or up. Can't really adjust that. It would be nice to see some kind of adjustment where they could be raised up or down when they're being used. And in the interest of fair reporting, I did need to move this seat all the way back. So now you can see where that is, and that's a little bit harder for me to be comfortable. This is the better setting for the kids. But the good news is that the seats can be moved up a little bit and help increase leg space. And cup holders on the rear of the center console. Nothing unusual for Chevrolet, but that's what's here. And you have single zone climate control here in the rear. Everything to control that is found right here on the rear of the center console. And we can also see that we have a couple of USB options in addition to a power outlet right there. We'll also find the rear seat pockets, one on each side. And you'll notice I haven't said anything about a sunroof because there isn't one here on this particular model. So what would it cost you if you came into Red River Chevrolet and bought a 2024 Traverse LT that's similar to what we're looking at today? $41,670. Let's see what else you get for the price. As far as the door panel goes, you're going to have that same armrest, just as comfortable. Obviously a larger door bin. In fact, I can show you that a little bit easier over here on the driver's side. Just as comfortable, but a little bit bigger. As far as your armrest goes, the difference in the seats is going to be that you have a manually adjustable passenger seat. It is heated. You'll have a power adjustable heated driver's seat. And nothing out of the ordinary over here. We don't have seat memory in this particular case. So that's what you're going to have there. You can also see your modes here if you want to change modes. The driving modes come up right there on the screen, on the infotainment screen. So you can see snow and ice. You're also going to have normal. We'll have sport and it just cycles back and forth through. I'll make sure I give you a little bit of time to kind of see what's going on there. A little bit of a glare today. I apologize for that, but that's just the way it is sometimes when we're out filming like this. Here is your instrument cluster. Everything is digital, very nice, very modern, very easy to deal with. In fact, you'll notice that the infotainment screen is curved. Hopefully you can see that on the screen right there, pointed towards the driver. That's driver focused. I like that. Here's what your steering wheel looks like for 2024, and control for not only the windshield wipers, the front windshield wiper and the rear window wiper right here, but also that is a multitasker. You can also use it to let people around you know what your intentions are when you're driving down the road. Here is your shifter. So we're seeing shifters that look kind of like they came out of other vehicles in some cases. Tell me what that looks similar to, if you know. Easy to deal with, no big deal. You just pull back on that to go into reverse, neutral, or drive. You will push the P right there, that button, that's going to put you into park. You will also find shifter paddles. So if you're feeling really sporty, you want to drive in sport mode and shift your way back and forth through the 8-speed automatic transmission, you can do that. You also have wireless capabilities for your cell phone. You can use Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Those are grayed out right there because nothing's connected at the moment, but you can see what all is there. You also have Google Assistant, so you can say, hey, yeah, I fooled you, didn't I? I could set off devices in your house if I wanted to, from far, far away. That would be interesting. Then you might be mad at me, so we wouldn't want that. But you can use Google Assistant voice commands for so many different things. And let's go over here and see what our camera views are. There's your overhead view. And we also have our rear view camera as well. Those side view camera mirrors, I told you those were there earlier. I showed you those earlier. And obviously with overhead, you can see that, and you have an easy way to see what's going on around the vehicle. I really like that. Nice and clear. And you can go into your vehicle settings here and do a lot of things. Let's go down here and see what all we have. Get your profiles, accessibility. All of that is going to be here. But let's spend a little bit of time here under vehicle. Teen driver mode is here if you want to use that. Buckle to drive. I do recommend you use your seatbelt when you're driving, but if you're just driving around in a parking lot or something like that, well, it's nice to have that turned off. And your rear seat reminder as well. Climate and air quality. And how about collision detection systems? Here's what we have. You can go in and make some changes. Your alert type, automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, intersection collision braking, adaptive go notifier, side bicycle alert. You can see what all is there. Just going to let you get a good look at that. Obviously, you can turn that on or off. You can go in and make some changes if you want to with that as well. So there's a lot going on here. You also have your maps built in right here. I won't really be able to show you a lot of that because we don't have the data plan set up, but that's there for those of you who want to know, or you can use what is on your phone. Obviously, when you go into reverse, your cameras are going to come on, your rear view camera and your overhead camera. That's very beneficial in a multitude of ways. And if you're wondering where the power parking brake is, it's a little hard to see, but it's this button right here. So I can push that and turn the power parking brake on, and then we can also release that if we want to. And earlier I mentioned that you have heated seats, heated only. We don't need that today. It's going to be over 90 degrees, but there you go. There are your heated seats. You can change the temperature if you want to right there. You can also do some things down here as far as the air goes. You can change the fan speed. You have controls right here as well for controlling temperature. So there's a few different options there. It's not all in the screen. And you have your nice large knob for the radio, turning that on and off and adjusting volume. If you're curious to know what's here, let's take a quick look as far as this goes. You can see some of the features that are right here as far as your dome light, your power window lockout. You can see the features that are here. You can also go in and make changes with the lighting on the vehicle, depending on what you want to do. You can turn that on or off. We can go to auto, we can go to off, just so you can see what all is going on here with the vehicle. Pretty easy to figure out. You can use the hunt and peck method. You do have a wireless charging pad. Down there we also have a couple of USB options and a 12-volt power outlet. There are your cup holders and a little bit of storage right here concealed away. That's nice and helpful to have that. You also have a nice wide lid for your center console that doubles as an armrest, and there is plentiful room within, especially when you remove that tray. And before we hop out on the road for our test drive, I did want to show you the animated graphics that come up here on the screen, on the instrument cluster, before you start the engine, just so you can see what is there. Okay, we're going to get out on the road for our test drive here with the Traverse. And from what I've experienced so far, it seems to have a very comfortable ride quality. Even though you have the cloth seats here, they seem to be comfortable enough. They seem like they would be comfortable for quite a long time. And what about horsepower? Well, that doesn't seem to be an issue either. Earlier I gave you those numbers on the power and the torque. Not an issue as far as I'm concerned. And one thing that I neglected to mention earlier, depending on what's going on around you and what you pull close to, or if you're starting to get outside of your lane or close to moving outside of your lane, you'll get a vibration in the seat to help out with that. So there are a lot of great safety features here that are going to help keep you and your passengers safe when you're driving down the road. And when you need to, yeah, you can definitely get up and go and get down the road. It's not a big deal. It just makes things very simple, but a fun vehicle to drive. Very practical. That's what I like about it. And in this day and age, is not ridiculously priced, at least not this particular model. Now we'll have to see what happens when we get up to the higher trim levels as they become available. And what about visibility? Well, when you look over your right hand shoulder into that area, if you're checking your blind spot, you definitely have a blind spot back there, but you have blind spot monitoring. So that really alleviates that as being an issue. So it's really not even worth concerning yourself with. I still look over every time, just out of habit of all these years of driving without any kind of blind spot monitoring or anything like that. I still look into my blind spot anyway, but it's nice to know you have all of those great safety features that I showed you earlier in the video. Cargo capacity is obviously good, so this makes for a very well-versed vehicle that definitely offers a lot of versatility. So depending on your situation and what you're doing, it's a great daily driver. You got plenty of space here, especially in the first and second rows. Depending on where the middle row seats are set will determine how comfortable everybody is in that third row. Technology is very easy to deal with. Nothing unusual for Chevrolet. That's one thing I've always liked about these GM vehicles, is that they are very easy to deal with when it comes to technology. So you don't have to worry about that being a steep learning curve or anything along those lines. Okay, tell me what you think about the 2024 Chevrolet Traverse. Is it better than ever? As they get in more trim levels here at Red River Chevrolet, I promise I'll show those to you as we move forward. But for today, all we had available was the LT. Tell me what your thoughts are. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Red River Chevrolet for loaning me this Traverse for the day. And a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so just yet. That way you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.